Hello friends, my name is Lalita Berwa, Assistant Professor in English. Today we will study the poem Pride Beauty written by Gerard Manley Hopkins. Gerard Manley Hopkins, he was born in 1844 and died in 1889. Hopkins is a major Victorian poet. He studied the classics at Oxford. In 1866 he converted to Catholicism and in 1868 he joined the Jesuit order. Although he started writing poetry in the elementary school, he burned his early poems, feeling that writing poetry was too worldly a pursuit. However, he came then to realize that writing was not in conflict with his religious belief and used poetry to express his religious feelings. Although he decided never to publish his poems, his good friend, the poet laureate Robert Bridges, published the first collection of his poems in 1918. Hopkins was sensitive to the beauty of natural world as opposed to the urban ugliness forced by the Industrial Revolution. In all his poetry, he advocates a movement toward God through the appreciation of the beauty of his creation. Here is the text of the poem Pied Beauty. It is a curtail sonnet, and this sonnet contains only 10 lines instead of 14. Let's read the text first. Glory be to God for dappled things, for skies of couple colors as a brinded cow, for rose moles all in stipple upon trout that swim, fresh fire coal chestnut falls, finches wings, landscape plotted and pieced, fold, follow and flow, and all trades their gear and tackle and trim. All things counter, original, spare, strange, whatever is fickle, freckled, who knows how. With swift, slow, sweet, sour, dazzled, dim, he farther forth, whose beauty is past change, praise him. Let's have a quick view of the vocabulary of the poem. Dappled. Dappled means spotted, speckled, pied, multicolored. Couple color means two color. Brinded. Brinded means having a brownish yellow or grey coat with spots or streaks of a darker color. Rose moles, reddish spot on the skin. Stipple, patterns of spots, a technique in painting where one uses the end of brush bristles to make dots. Fresh fire coals, fallen chestnut with cells that opened. The exposed nut resemble glowing coals. Fold. A fold is a fenced in area for sheep. Follow. A field that has been left empty. Tackle means equipment. Trim. It is also used for equipments. Counter means opposite. Spare. It means rare and not common. Fickle. Changeable. A dazzle, glittering brightly. The opposite of dim. Farther forth means creates, begets. Glory be to God for dappled things. Here we can see the pictures of dappled creatures. Dappled means spotted, speckled. The poet says that addresses to God and asks the man that it is the glory of God who created these things that are dappled and so much beautiful. He wants to say that in contrast to the man, only God can create such beautiful things in this world. And for this, we must praise the God. For skies of couple color as a brinded cow. Now the poet go one by one and describes what God have created in this world. He says that brinded means having a brownish yellow or grey coat with spots or streak of a darker color. For skies of couple color as a brinded cow, the god has created a sky which is sometimes very plain, very bluish, but sometimes it looked like a brinded cow, very painted, very beautiful. Here you can see the picture of a cow have spots of brownish or dark color on its white skin. Similarly, we can see the spots on the sky. For this, the poet praises the god. In the next line, the poet says, "For rose moles, all in stipple upon trout that swims." Rose moles means reddish spot on the skin. Stipple pattern of spots, a technique in painting using dots. Here the poet again praises that he, the Almighty, the God, has created the creatures that have rose moles or dots or patterns of spots upon on the bodies of the trout. Trout is a name of fish that we can see in this picture. On the reddish spots clearly visible and spots on the picture of a man. So the poet praises that God has created such things that are so much beautiful. Next he says that fresh fire coal, chestnut falls, finch's wings. He again says that the God had created so many things, so much beautiful things. And again he simil- gives similes that fresh fire coal, chestnut falls. The chestnut that's fall on the ground are open and it looks quite reddish like a fire coal that is burning. Next he says finch's wing. Finches is the name of a bird, finch. Here we can see the picture. It is also of dappled color, have multiple colors on its body. Its wings are dappled, we can quite clearly see. Next the poet says that landscape, plot and piece, fold, fallow and plow. Fold means a fence in area for sheep. Follow a field that has been left empty. That God has created such landscapes that are plotted and pieced. Men have plotted them and pieced them. But these folds and the empty land and the land a farmer plows, these pieces of the land are quite different. They also look dappled, they also appears very beautiful. Here again the poet praises the god that he has created so many dappled things, so many beautiful things on the earth, and all trades their gear and tackle and trim. Tackle means equipment, trim means equipments. Here the poet says that though man too has created so many things, like we can see the equipments, instruments, but these two are dappled, but the glory of God is quite different. The things He has created are much beautiful than men have created. All things counter, original, spare, strange. He says that the things that God has created and man has created are quite different, quite opposite. The things that has created are quite original, rare and strange. No man can create such unique things in this world. This is the glory of the God. Whatever is fickle, freckled, who knows how? Hopkins says that whatever God has created is fickle, is changeable, and knows that it is freckled. We do not know how, but slowly and gradually these things start decreasing. Like his kids grown up in a youth and then he grown up in an old man and finally he dies. But these things are still beautiful in all their ages. with swift, slow, sweet, sour, dazzled dim. A dazzle means glittering brightly, the opposite of dim, dazzling. He again says that the God has created such things that some things are so swift and some things are so slow. Some animals, we can see the pictures of uh, leopard which runs very swiftly, and again we see the picture of a snail and a turtle which works very slowly. We can see that some things that God had created are very sweet like mango, and some are very sour like lemon. Some things are very dazzling, very bright, very glittering. On the other hand, some things are very dim and dark. So here we can see that God has created so many things that are quite original and different, very different, but all are very beautiful. He fathers forth whose beauty is past change. And here the poet says that father forth means the God, the Christ, who has created so many things, who beget us, is so much beautiful. His creation is so much beautiful that no beauty can surpass him. We can never reach the beauty he has created. God says that, sorry, poet says that, let praise him. As we know that Hopkins was a priest, a Jesuit, so he always written poems in praise of God. And here in the final line, he says that we should praise, we should hail the God for all his creation, for all his original, strange, beautiful, uh, so gorgeous world. Thank you. This is the part one of Gerard Manley Hopkins' poem, Pied Beauty.